Hi everyone, this is Akshita Madhi. I'm here to present on Zomato restaurants data. I've performed few analysis on this data set and worked on the same data set for the past three assignments. So coming to the analysis on Zomato restaurants data, the dataset provides information like average cost of two location, votes, aggregate rating, cuisines, country, rating text, etc. Various analyses like the top cuisines, most expensive restaurant, average rating for each country, and many other analyses are performed on the dataset and discussed in detail in further sections. This is the gist about dataset and what are the analysis performed on the dataset. Agenda. For our presentation, I've included brief introduction about the Zomato restaurants, followed by explaining about the data dictionary, the number of rows and columns, and then various cleaning activities performed are explained. Lastly, all the goals and data analysis are explained. Based on the results of the analysis, we conclude this presentation after drawing some insights. Introduction. The Zomato restaurants data was used to conduct this study. Zomato is the most well-known app for finding the best restaurants in local area based on cuisines, average cost per couple, reviews, ratings, and votes. Zomato is also renowned for food delivery and online table reservations. The usage of Zomato has tremendously increased from the past few years. The main aim of the project is to perform the descriptive and statistical analysis based on few goals designed. This dataset also provides information about various restaurants that are registered with Zomato around the world. The votes, aggregate ratings, price, color, and average cost of two are the main attributes present in the Zomato dataset that can be used by people who visit the restaurants frequently. This data can be used to find the choice of restaurants and write reviews for further changes. Pivot charts, pivot tables, arithmetic functions, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, match, min and max functions, etc. are used to analyze the data and interpret the results. Dataset. The Zomato restaurants data is the perfect source of people to check out on the average cost of two cuisines, ratings, price range for each restaurant. The dataset includes columns like restaurant ID, restaurant name, average cost for two, currency, price range, aggregate rating, rating text, and votes. The dataset consists of 21 columns and 9,551 rows with details of various restaurants from 15 different countries. The owner of the dataset is Zomato, and Kaggle is the source that is providing the data. The link for the source is attached in the presentation. Coming to the data cleaning is one of the important steps before performing analysis on any dataset. Data cleansing is performed to remove the incorrect or inconsistent data, filling or removing the missing values, and removing the duplicate values. Data cleaning is performed on cleaning data to obtain the consistent and better results. In this dataset, I've removed the columns like locality, locality verbose, latitude, longitude, and rating color, which are not used for fulfilling my goals. Randomly selected 16 rows to implement functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and match to obtain the better and to easily validate the results based on the reference value. So these 16 columns are selected in random to identify a particular value based on a reference value like restaurant ID. The data column is created for the assignment to randomly generate date for all the columns to perform operations related to date. So in my first assignment, I've used VLOOKUP to find the most expensive restaurant. So for this, first we need to know what VLOOKUP is. VLOOKUP is a vertical lookup function that helps us to find a required value from the Excel based on the reference values. So to find the most expensive restaurant, I have taken the restaurant ID uh, that I've obtained in my previous analysis, which says Sky is the most expensive restaurant. So I obtained the restaurant ID for Sky and collected the values like cuisines, ratings, and votes for Sky using the VLOOKUP. So here is a sample syntax that I've used for VLOOKUP, and the results are in the screenshot here, which says Sky is the expensive restaurant with cuisines like Italian, continental, continental and aggregate ratios and aggregate ratings with 4 is to 1 and votes, the maximum votes are 14,098. The next one is the hedge lookup function, which works similar to a VLOOKUP function, but the only difference between hedge lookup and VLOOKUP is that the hedge lookup function searches in a row to return the value of a to return a value of from a same column but different row. Sample syntax for hedge lookup is this, and here we have found we have took the restaurant ID as the reference value and found the average cost for two price range and has table booking or not. The next function is the match function. The match function is used to search for the specified term and then return the range of that item. I use the match function to find the name of the restaurant with the highest average cost for two. So this is the sample syntax that I used, and this is the most expensive restaurant which has the highest average cost for two. Data analysis, arithmetic functions. The most frequently used functions are sum, difference, product, average, max, and min. For this assignment, I calculated the number of restaurants offering online delivery in New Delhi, range of price and votes, max of votes, and min of votes. The sample syntaxes are shown below, and the results of the questions are in the screenshot that is present in the screen, which says the restaurants, there are 1,489 restaurants that accept online delivery in New Delhi, and the price range is $80,000 or rupees, and with the votes range of 10,934. Data analysis. For the further analysis, we've used pivot tables and pivot charts. A pivot table is a basic and the most important tool in Excel, which is used to summarize, sort, organize, or reorganize, group, count, total, average, or sum data in the Excel sheet. It is used to group data based on a column, transform bigger tables to smaller tables based on a condition, and transform columns to rows and rows to columns to easily understand and read the data. The pivot table helps us use the rows and columns however we want to chart it. This is always used to summarize huge amounts of data. Pivot table consists of summary data. This data can be visualized using pivot charts. These charts helps us to see patterns, trends, and differences. Pivot table and pivot charts are used to make critical decisions from the data. The pivot charts in Excel have multiple styles like bar, line, area, stacked bar, pie chart, histograms, tree maps, column charts, etc. With pivot charts, reading and understanding the data is easy and makes it look organized. So the data analysis, the first goal is which countries have the greatest number of restaurants enrolled in Zomato. I've used the concept of pivot table and pivot chart to count the number of restaurants enrolled in the Zomato by each country. As we all know, Zomato is famous in every country. I performed analysis to understand which countries have the greatest number of restaurants registered with Zomato. The results obtained were interesting. So as you can see from the graph that there are 8,652 restaurants that are recorded from India, followed by 434 from America, 80 from United Kingdom. India is a predominant country that uses Zomato for online ordering and restaurant reviewing. So for our second goal, which countries in India have the greatest number of value for which cities in India have the greatest number of value for money restaurants? So pivot chart and pivot tables are used to analyze this goal as well. New Delhi, Gurgaon, Agra, and Noida are the cities in India that have the value for money restaurants. These cities have the restaurants that provide good food for a price paid. Here we can see the filter that I used is applied on the country to get the value added restaurants from India. And the graph shows the counts of restaurants that money of the restaurants that provide value for money. And the next goal is which cities in the top four countries have the highest average aggregate rating for restaurants. All the graphs are plotted using pivot charts and pivot tables. New Delhi, Orlando, London, and Rio de Janeiro are the cities from India, United States, United Kingdom, and Brazil with the top text rating. Most of the restaurants in London and Rio de Janeiro are rated excellent, while the restaurants in New Delhi and Orlando are rated as good and very good, respectively. What are the top cuisines that have the highest number of votes in India? Since we all know that India is the country with the highest number of restaurants registered with Zomato, the Zomato restaurants in India provide various kinds of cuisines. The most preferred cuisines in India are North India, Mughlai, Chinese, fast food, etc. Which countries have the restaurants that deliver online? India and UAE are the only two countries which have restaurants delivering online as shown in the graph. The countries like United Kingdom, United States, Brazil, etc. have restaurants that do not accept online delivery. India has a total of 2423 restaurants that accept online delivery. So, in terms of number of restaurants, which locality has the most? So, Connaught Place, Rajouri Garden, Sadara Defense Colony, Malviya Nagar are the famous localities with 122, 99, 87, 86, and 85 restaurants respectively. As you can see, all these cities are from India. How many restaurants are rated good, average, and excellent? There are 301 excellent restaurants, 1079 very good restaurants, 2100 good restaurants, and 3737 average restaurants, 186 poor restaurants, and 21,048 restaurants with no rating. So this task is carried out by using subtotals and then applying the charts on the obtained subtotals. What are the top two countries in terms of number of restaurants that opened in 2005? I've created a date column to generate the random dates for each restaurant and consider that as the restaurant opening date. All the analysis performed hereafter are based on the date column. There are 301 excellent restaurants. Oh, I'm sorry. There are 383 restaurants from India and 16 from Australia, 6 from Indonesia, and 4 from Qatar, which are opened, and these are the number of restaurants that are open in 2005. Which month had the greatest number of restaurant openings? The month of March had the most restaurant openings with 863, followed by August and April with 833 and 827 respectively. So this can be used by restaurant openers to open a restaurant in March, August, or April for more number of sales. Which day has the highest aggregate rating for the restaurants that are opened? This is performed to help the restaurant owners open the restaurant on a day that have highest aggregate rating. Restaurants opened on Saturday had the highest aggregate rating, followed by Wednesday. Which year saw the openings of the most expensive restaurants? The year 2019 saw the openings of the most expensive restaurant with the average cost of dollars 3,069.33. What is the age of the restaurant with restaurant ID 58000755? The Upali's restaurant with the restaurant ID 58000755 was opened 13 years, 8 months, and 21 days ago. This analysis can be used to determine the age of the restaurant. I personally feel that if the restaurant is very old, the quality and ambience of the restaurant will be very good because they have survived in the market for a very long time. What is the probability of the average number of restaurants opening on a weekday versus average number of restaurants opened on a weekend? So the probability of a restaurant's opening happening on a weekend is quite higher than that of a weekday. As you can see, the weekday average restaurant openings is 1359 and the weekend average restaurant openings is 1378. Coming to the descriptive statistics. For the descriptive statistics, votes, aggregate rating, average cost of two, and price range were subjected to descriptive statistics to determine their mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variance, skewness, range, minimum, maximum, sum, and count. Conclusion. The dataset shows the restaurants with the highest cost of two, countries with a greater number of restaurants on Zomato, countries with the restaurants that offer online delivery, average aggregate rating for countries, etc. Base, Basis on our analysis performed, the restaurants present in different localities can improve the quality of restaurant, deliver online, work on days that have high average aggregate rating, and check for value added restaurants to check on how they work, and can implement few techniques like including both online delivery and table booking, providing various cuisines to the visitors, etc. It is easy for frequent visitors to filter based on the average cost for two votes, aggregate rating, cuisines, etc. This can be done before visiting the restaurant. Thank you.